What's up, Wolverines? I'm Matthew Barturin.
And I'm Jake Camejo, and welcome to another edition of WBLN. Our very own coach Chachi Rodriguez was selected to be in the coach of the Dade team in the inaugural Dade versus Broward basketball game. I was able to sit down with him and learn more.
The inaugural Dade versus Broward All-Star game is about to take place, and the Wolverines will have two very familiar faces on the court.
Miami-Dade basketball has been doing Dade versus Broward. This is our first year, but we have been doing North versus South. Usually we do North versus South in Miami. We never really do Dade versus Broward, but I think as far as like the selection of each kid, it's usually the impact the kid made on that team. This does not necessarily mean points per game. Doesn't mean that someone is scoring 30 points a game, 40 points a game. It's the impact you make on winning and the attitude that you have on and off the court.
Now, you may be wondering, how does a player or coach get selected for this opportunity?
Okay, so it's basically chosen by ballots of coaches in the area, and they send it to Jake Shaw, who's the gentleman who runs Miami-Dade basketball, and he's done an amazing job trying to put basketball, especially Miami-Dade basketball, on the map. You can't just say it is Miami-Dade basketball, but he does try to include the Broward teams and the West Palm Beach team, so basically South Florida. But his concentration has tried to be more in Miami, which I think is great. We have that type of representation in football, but not so much in basketball. And now he's tried to do a really good job with that.
You also may be wondering, how does it feel to play and coach for this team?
Oh, that's a great honor. I mean, to be able to represent Dade in that game is huge. Anytime we get to represent like Miami against anybody else, for me, I take it personal because I feel like everybody else gets more respect for basketball than we do in South Florida or in Miami. So the fact that we get to play Broward teams or even like the ones that play some of the West Palm Beach teams, I think is awesome because it's a chance to show and gain respect. Like, and I don't coach that game to. It's not like you see the NBA also. I mean, nobody really cares. No, they'll care. They will play because at the end of the day, they're representing Miami-Dade.
Reporting for WBLN, I'm Jake Camejo.
With Ignatian Spirituality Week starting, Dr. Jordan brought a friend to share his experiences in service. Victor Torres tells us more.
On Tuesday, March 14th, Dr. Jordan gave a presentation to 7th grade students about how they could do service and how he does it himself. Though, Dr. Jordan's service uses a little bit of help from a not-so-little friend. Meet Napa, his 2-year-old Great Dane who is a certified service dog. We spoke with Dr. Jordan to get some information on what Napa does and for what reason.
So I always wanted a Great Dane. That was always the breed of dog that I wanted to have. The service aspect came in because my wife and I were always very involved with helping kids with cancer before we got married. And when we got married and when we had our careers, it became difficult to give as much service as we used to. My wife used to actually knit blankets for kids in cancer units, and I used to volunteer at a summer camp for kids with cancer. So when we got a dog, we both knew we wanted to give service specifically for people with cancer. And when Napa, her personality came in, where she was very loving and very kind, and open with pretty much everybody, we said, okay, let's do it. And so we found a trainer, and we've been training her ever since. She and I also specifically to get to the point that she could be the dog for people getting chemotherapy treatment.
Napa has had some extraneous training prior to her doing her job so well.
The cool thing about Great Danes is that Napa is like a kind of a rarity when it comes to it, because first, Great Danes are very lazy dogs by nature, but Napa is very focused on what her job is. Secondly, Great Danes are one of the only breeds that recognize how big they are. So you have labs and other types of dogs that are always crazy, and which are great dogs, but Great Danes are very good with kids and older people because they recognize that they're so large, so they want to make sure that they're careful with them. Their training, she took about 15 courses where she had to learn the basics, but then also be able to hear my commands, follow our commands, be around very large and noisy environments, very chaotic environments, follow the commands in the chaotic environments. The major test that she had to pass was she actually laid in the middle of Dayland Mall, and right in the center where people were running back and forth, people were making a lot of noises. And the reason for that is if she's in the hospital and someone codes and they're moving back and forth very quickly, she cannot get distracted. She has to stay in what her job is. So she laid down in the middle of Dolphin Mall, and even though the noise was going on and everything, she still stayed laid down for 1 minute in the middle of Dayland Mall, and then that's when they said, okay, she passed.
As mentioned before, Dr. Jordan wanted Napa to be an example that any service is good service.
So today what we were doing was we brought the dog for the 7th grade classes to talk about care for creation, one of the universal apostolic preferences, and a way that we can give service using just the basic gifts that we have. A lot of times people think that doing service is doing these monumental things and making this huge impact, when in reality you can also give of your time, talents, and treasures, right? Give of what you have in the most basic way, and that'll yield fruit as well. So I brought Napa to show them, what other types of services we can get into to help people that need help.
For WBLN, I'm Victor Torres.
This past weekend, the Calle Ocho Music Festival took place, a festival set in Miami's vibrant Hispanic culture.
In continuation of last week's Carnival on the Mile, Calle Ocho took over the streets of Little Havana. Known as the largest Latin music festival in the nation, Calle Ocho features streets upon streets filled with the different cultures of food, fun, dancing, and lots of music. Behind all the music and fun, this event holds an interesting history. I spoke with the vice president of the Kiwanis Club of Little Havana, Pablo Lau, to get some more background on Calle Ocho.
Hi everyone, welcome to Calle Ocho 2023. My name is Pablo Lau. I'm the Vice President of the Kiwanis Club of Little Havana. This today marks our 46th annual Calle Ocho, where originally started at the Open House A, which was an expression of the Cuban culture to the Miami residents, has grown with the community and grown with the city. As the city has grown from a cultural standpoint, all nationalities are represented today at Calle Ocho. All nationalities are welcome. And the best of all is that we might throw the biggest party, but the whole purpose is our cause. And our cause is to help the children of Little Havana and of Miami, and to make Miami better as a whole.
Calle Ocho raised thousands of dollars this year to help the children of Little Havana and to keep alive that amazing history of the Latin culture. For WBLN, I'm Victor Torres.
Our juniors are on close-up in Washington, D.C. Our very own Danny Diaz gives us an update.
What's up, Wolverines? We're live in DC, and today on close-up, we're going to be visiting much more things we've been visiting. Memorials, yesterday we went in Capitol Hill, we got it toured, absolutely gorgeous, and then we'll give you guys an update, we'll get back next week.
We're getting new footage of Tuesday's encounter between a U.S. surveillance drone and a Russian fighter jet. U.S. European Command released a newly declassified video, which lasted about 30 to 40 minutes. It shows the MQ-9 Reaper drone's tail and propeller as it flies over the Black Sea. Then, a Russian fighter jet approaches. As it draws closer, the aircraft dumps fuel on the drone. Another portion of the video shows the jet making a second pass and dumping fuel again. The video is then disrupted as the jet collides with the drone. With the drone damaged, operators flew it down into international waters off the coast of Crimea. 2 U.S. officials say the operators remotely wiped sensitive software to mitigate the risk of secret materials falling into enemy hands.
What's this guy doing here? What's up, Wolverines? I'm Victor Torres, and here's your sports for today. Congrats to our very own Bryce Fitzgerald and Davion Dixon being ranked 4 stars according to Rivals. Good work, boys. Let's get those 5th stars. Congrats to our Wolverine wrestlers who made all-day honors. Senior Darian Torres made 3rd team, and Senior Lucas Amaya and Junior Henry Amador got honorable mentions. The varsity baseball team had a blowout win versus Florida Christian with a score of 10-0. Frank Fernandez was awarded Player of the Game with a shutout at pitcher. They take on Keys Gate tonight, looking to keep this win streak going. Good luck, Wolverines. The varsity lacrosse team takes on Tampa Jesuit in the Battle of the Jesuits, looking to keep their win streak going. Our varsity volleyball team is ranked #1 in Florida according to MaxPreps, and according to USA Today, they are ranked 20th in the nation. Let's keep it pushing, Wolverines. They take on Spanish River Community High School tonight at 5:15, so come show your support. Last night, the Heat were on fire. They won 138-119 over the Memphis Grizzlies. Bam Adebayo led the team with 26 points, and Tyler Hero right behind him with 24. The Miami Dolphins have made some great moves in free agency, but most notably, the Fins traded for All-Pro cornerback Jalen Ramsey. The Dolphins now hold one of the best cornerback duos with Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey holding it down in the secondary. And don't forget, finish your March Madness brackets by noon today. And don't sleep, the best team in the ACC, Miami, is making a run this year. That's all your sports for now. Let's head back to the guys at the desk.
Thanks, Vic. Remember to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And follow us here at WBLN. Remember, stay safe
And stay golden, Wolverines.